Hey guys, welcome back to Cap Views. Okay, so today I want to talk about Batman. So there is so much going on, and we need to have a chat about it. So buckle up. This is going to be a long one. There's a lot to cover. There is a shit ton going on, and it's been going on. Okay, so first of all, this is just going to be about Batman. So if you're not into like DC or like superhero films in general, this one's probably not for you. So I'll see you on the next one. Um, But yeah, I just want to sit here and talk about the Batman situation because there's a fuck ton happening. Okay, so let's just start off with the fact that Ben Affleck is coming back as Batman. He's reprising the role, which no one ever thought was going to happen because he basically like said au revoir, goodbye, farewell to the role. And he said he wasn't going to do it again, and there was a lot going on in media and stuff which I won't get into, but essentially there was no reason that anybody would think that he would ever come back as Batman, especially after Robert Pattinson got cast as the new Batman in a different situation. Like, it's not in that part of the DC EU, and it's a whole thing. I'm trying to get into it, but like, let's start with Ben. So Ben Affleck's Batman um, is going to be coming back in the Flash film, which is coming out in 2022. So we knew there was going to be a Flash movie. There was supposed to be also a Cyborg movie. Obviously, we've got Wonder Woman 84 coming out. That's going to be like a trilogy situation. So there's Wonder Woman 84, and then there's going to be a third film. I think the same thing's happening with Aquaman. We've got Aquaman 2 coming out, and basically they were going to do a Flash film and supposedly a Cyborg film, although there's been no news about that. So we've got just try to follow, right? So we've got Zack Snyder's Justice League coming out in 2021. That's like a 4-hour film, like at least 3.5-hour film. So we're gonna see a lot of stuff in there that we haven't obviously seen. It's gonna be completely retold in Zack Snyder's way. So after that, we've got the Flash. We've got Wonder Woman, obviously, but this is separate. So in terms of the Batman situation, we have Justice League. Obviously, Ben Affleck is returning for that because he was in Justice League. So we'll see Ben Affleck's Batman more substantially in Zack Snyder's Justice League. And then he's also coming back now. It's been said. This story broke on Variety. Deadline did a report on it. Lots of YouTubers, reporters, entertainment journalists have talked about this. I'm just another person sort of reiterating information. So this isn't my information, but I'm just reiterating it as I've seen it come in. So Ben Affleck will be in The Flash 2022. Now it's been said and you can check out the Variety article, but it's been said that he will only have a cameo appearance, and Andy Muschietti, who's the director of that film, I believe, he talked in the Vanity Fair article report. So we got to see a bit more information about, Ben Affleck's involvement as this Batman in this film, because obviously the Flash centers around Barry Allen. This is a Flash film after all. So obviously, if there is somebody in that film, it's definitely going to be more like a cameo appearance. So it is Barry's story. It centers around him, and that was also said in the Vanity Fair article. Basically, we're going to see Ben Affleck again, which is pretty awesome for a lot of fans. Personally, I was not a big fan of his Batman, but I did like him as Bruce Wayne. I thought he was a very good Bruce Wayne. So I am interested, definitely. I mean, we're going to be seeing him obviously in Justice League in 2021, so I'm interested to see what they do with this. However, I don't feel like most people are a huge Flash fan. I feel like Flash is like the Shazam of DC. Obviously there's a lot of people that, in terms of mainstream audiences, that like the big guns. So that would usually be the Trinity. So we've got Batwoman. Well, that could happen. Let's get to that later though. We have Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Obviously, in terms of Justice League, you also have Cyborg, Flash, Green Lantern. Also, a whole situation. Different video. Too much to cover. So Ben Affleck's Batman is going to be returning in The Flash. He's going to be in a cameo appearance. It's not going to be a long thing. And basically, I feel like they're going to have to build up the relationship, because they talk about in this interview, in this report, that they talk about Ben Affleck's Batman having a very substantial emotional impact in the film. So basically, I think that from what I've seen other people cover and talk about, essentially what it's gonna be is, I feel like they're doing like the Flashpoint kind of multiverse situation. Try to explain this the best way I can for people to understand it, because it gets a bit confusing even for myself. So basically what they're gonna do is they're gonna do like a multiverse situation where it's in the same universe but it's different versions, I think, if I'm trying to understand, which is different to the way Marvel did it, kinda. It's confusing. But basically we're gonna see Ben Affleck in that film, and he is going to essentially be, I think, erased or sacrifice himself in some way. And it's said in the interview that, you know, they bond over the fact that both of them have lost their mother. Obviously, Batman lost both his parents, but Barry Allen in particular, as we saw him as Flash, Ezra Miller's Flash, you know, his dad was in prison, and I really would love if they touch more on that storyline, by the way. But his dad was in prison and his mother was dead. So his mother had been, I think, murdered violently. So, you know, it basically talks about how the fact that Ben Affleck's Batman can relate to Ezra Miller. Now, we saw a bit of that, like, sort of mentorship in Justice League, but to be honest, I don't feel like, and it was fun, like, don't get me wrong. I mean, Flash in general, he was definitely this like nerdy, geeky, kind of like annoying Tom Holland Spider-Man version. If anything, it actually kind of reminds me of like the Iron Man Spider-Man thing that they did with Marvel. I feel like that's kind of replicating through Ben Affleck's Batman and Ezra Miller's Flash a little bit, or at least it seems that it's going to be that way, because we'd have to see that character development and that build-up in Snyder's Justice League, because we haven't seen it. I mean, Ben Affleck's Batman had more of a connection with Wonder Woman and even Superman. Even with Batman v Superman, I felt more connected to those two characters than I did with the Flash and Batman in that film. So I feel like Zack's got a big task but I think he can do it for sure. But basically, they're gonna have to build up that character, those characters and that relationship, to then have the snippet cameo of Ben Affleck's Batman in the Flash 2022. So essentially, that's what it is. I think that they had him initially with Justice League. Now you're going to get more of that in Zack Snyder's version of Justice League. So it's going to be building up until we get to the Flash. And pretty much, I think what's going to happen is, if I'm guessing, I would say that Ben Affleck's Batman is going to make some sort of sacrifice, like possibly, because the whole Flashpoint thing that they use is, so basically Flash goes back or into multiple universes and parallel places where there's different versions of these characters that we know and love. Essentially, that's what multiversing is. Basically, it's multiple universes essentially. So there's different versions of these characters, and I'm going to get to that as well, don't worry about it. So sticking to Ben Affleck for just now. So yeah, basically I think what's going to happen is that it's possible, I don't know if this will happen, but I think it's possible that Ben Affleck will somehow sacrifice himself for Barry's mum to come back. I mean, that's like it's way off there. No one said anything about that. It's just I think it's my theory, and also I kind of would like to see it. I think that would be really cool. But also, I mean, because it is, you guys gotta remember, this is a Flash film we're talking about, so it's Barry's story. So we're gonna see obviously his dad, because we've seen that before, and we're probably gonna see a bit of his. I'm assuming, I would hope that we're gonna see a bit of his mum and maybe somehow tell the story. So I don't know if it's gonna be like in the past and do like a flashback situation. I mean, it would be cool if they did flashbacks. I mean, I hope they would. Flashbacks. Alright, let's move on. So we're gonna have, hopefully have flashbacks with Flash's mum, but we're also going to have his dad, and I hope we're going to see more of the backstory about all of that and what happened, because I think it revolves around his mum. But I feel like Ben Affleck's Batman is going to do something that is going to basically change that course of history. And essentially Barry is going to be forced, or, you know, somehow have to sacrifice Ben Affleck's Batman and essentially erase him from history. Now, that's what I'm hearing, and also I have theories on it myself, obviously. But this is where it gets a bit confusing. Okay? So if Ben Affleck's Batman is erased, then how does that affect, you guys ask, because I ask, how does that affect the DC universe and basically the Trinity? Because we've seen, you know, Batman v Superman, Justice League, we've got Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, Henry Cavill hopefully coming back as Superman, and then we're missing a bat. We're missing the no Trinity without Batman, guys. So we need a Batman, and we know that it's not going to be Robert Pattinson's Batman, because that's in its whole separate situation. So yeah, it's a lot. Now, on top of all of that, which is completely just left, we don't know what's happening with that situation exactly. On top of all of that, because this Flash movie is going to be experiencing, you know, multiverse, so multi-versions of Batman, we are also getting, if you haven't heard this, which I don't know how you wouldn't if you're a fan of Batman like myself, but we are also getting Michael Keaton's Batman coming back. Like, I know everybody's excited about Ben Affleck, but I'm excited about Michael Keaton's Batman, because I just think he's going to be so dope. To be fair, I think that Ben Affleck, whatever role he has, no matter how long that is in the film, no matter how short that cameo is in the Flash film, which I think will be between 5 to 10 minutes, to be fair, but no matter how long that is, I do feel like Ben Affleck is going to carry that performance for sure. You know, and then we've also got, again, big guns coming out. So we've got Michael Keaton coming back, who's said to play a substantial part in this film. So obviously, you know, to me, it seems like it's going to rewrite everything, which is going to be so confusing. So he's going to go back in terms of the Batman and bring back Keaton's Batman and erase Ben's Batman. I mean, I don't know if that's what's happening, but it kind of feels that way. Because Keaton is basically going to be like this, he's going to be in the DC as this sort of like mentor, I believe. He's not replacing Batman, he's too old. But he is still Batman, like he's Bruce Wayne. It's a lot, guys. I know it's a lot. So my concerns are basically what I just said, the whole confusion factor. I think that mainstream audiences are going to have a problem. And when I say mainstream audiences, I mean people that aren't super duper superhero, you know, there's not super knowledgeable about superheroes, or super intellectual about the characters themselves, the stories and these properties and the characters of these properties, you know. So I think that people that generally like want to go out and have a fun time, and, you know, or take the family out, or you're going to go with friends, or take your girlfriend or boyfriend out, and you just want to have a fun time and see these, you know, larger than life characters, but you don't want to think too much about it, because that's kind of what these films, you know, have been known for, even criticized for at times, even though, to be fair, I think the story is super rich in a lot of them. But I think I think the majority of people aren't going to maybe get this. So my only issue is that it's done really well. It has to be done super well for this to work, and I hope it does work. Fingers crossed for DC, because I fucking love DC. I mean, you guys can't see all my shit. There's like Wonder Woman, there's Superman. Anyway, but I hope that they do it really, really well, because this is a lot. Now, to reiterate, we're gonna have Ben Affleck's Batman coming back. We have Robert Pattinson's Batman that is supposed to be doing a trilogy similar to Nolan's Christian Bale Dark Knight. So I feel like Matt Reeves has taken some inspiration from that. So that's going to be on its own, in its own universe, which also, like, Robert Pattinson's Batman looks totally different to Ben Affleck's Batman, which is kind of cool. But I don't know how I feel about, I still don't know how I feel. I need to see Pattinson as Batman. I need to see like some acting, you know, not just the suit, because he looks good in the suit, but I need to see something to make me feel like he's Batman to make me believe it. Not because I don't think Pattinson is a good actor. I don't like him personally, but I think he can pull off the job of Batman. I just need to see it, you know. But all these like stuff that Matt Reeves is dropping, like the character art and the, you know, photos of the car and like the suit, that's super cool. It's been really cool. Even that test screening with the red hue background of the suit, oof, that was nice. I quite like that part of it. There's some things I don't love about the suit, but to be fair, I don't really like Ben Affleck's Batman suit either. I'm old school. I prefer like Keaton's suit, to be fair, of all of the new ones. But that's just me. I know I'm like the black sheep of that. But so anyway, back to Batman, guys. So we're basically gonna have 3 Batman. We're gonna have 3 Batman. We're gonna have Ben Affleck's Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman, and then Robert Pattinson, his own little situation over there. Get out of here, Robert Pattinson. So that's crazy. So Batman fans are just like either Batman fans. There's 2 camps of Batman fans. There's the ones that are just like, yes, and then there's the ones like me that are just like, kind of cool. I want to see more. So yeah, we're gonna get into it, but it's just it's so confusing at this point because we don't know what's happening. And obviously, you know, The Flash comes out in 2022, so we need to see how Justice League performs first, and then we'll see, you know, trailers are way off and all that stuff. So it's gonna be interesting for sure. I'm really excited though about the fact that this is even happening. Like, regardless, and I've said this in my tweets and whatnot, like, and I want to make a point of it, like, all personal preferences and individuality aside, I mean, freedom of expression, go for it, freedom of speech, whatever. Say whatever you want, have an opinion, that's fine, we can agree to disagree, like something, dislike something, whatever. But we all, I feel like, have to agree that as a DC fan, or just comic book fan, or superhero fans in general, this is fucking awesome. Like, to see see them in live action on the big screen. Now, obviously, CW has done a bit of this. DC's already done kind of some of this. I believe, I didn't watch it personally, but I know that Ezra Miller's Flash went back to and met up with like the CW version of the Flash, which is pretty cool. So Ezra Miller did a cameo for that. So we've already seen, if you follow that, we've already kind of seen the fact that DC, you know, knew that this was possible to do. I feel like, if anything, that was kind of like a little, you know, test version of on a lower budget and scale, really. And now they're like going full ball into it. So it's going to be really cool. Now, the other thing that's going to happen though is the fact that Marvel, I feel like, is going to beat DC to the punch with Spider-Man, because like a lot of people have been talking about having the 3 different Spider-Men, you know, unite and be featured in either one film or at least in some sort of capacity. Now, I think Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, is that what it's called? I believe that comes out before the Flash film does, I think. So I feel like Kevin Feige is probably going to beat them to the punch, and he's gonna try and go for the Spider-Man, the trifecta. He's gonna try it, I think. So it would make sense. I mean, that's the character you would use if you're going to use any character, I believe. So and it's pretty easy to do that, although I haven't seen Tobey Maguire forever, so I don't know what he's doing with his life. But I'm pretty sure, you know, Tom Holland and oh god, I forgot his name. It's gone. But I'm pretty sure they're on board. Andrew Garfield, is that it? I'm pretty sure that the younger ones are on board for sure. But yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. But either way, I'm a Spider-Man fan, so that's awesome too, I guess. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the Tom Holland Spider-Man. Again, I think Tom Holland's a good actor. I just don't like... I don't like that really annoying young teenager version of Spider-Man. I know that's pretty much how he's portrayed in a lot of the films or comics, but I prefer like an older, just a little bit older, a little bit more serious, a little bit more mature. To be fair, I didn't love the Andrew Garfield films either, but I feel like it was done better, in my opinion, just because of the performance. and the way that the character was written. Same with Tobey Maguire's character. There was, you know, he was just more serious. Like even Tobey Maguire at when that happened with the Sam Raimi films. You know, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was just like, even though he was young and he was also in high school, I don't know, I just got a more serious theme to him than I've had with the Tom Holland comparison. You know, Tom Holland is like a kid, like completely. So anyway, this isn't about Spider-Man. Spider-Man, wait your turn. But yeah, so we are gonna have 3 Batman in the next 2 years in live action comic book films. That is fucking awesome. So let me just praise that for a second and like, let me just be thankful to the comic book gods for that just for a second, because that's exciting as hell. Now, in terms of my personal opinion on the whole multiverse situation, I actually don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, I'm excited for Keaton. I mean, Ben Affleck's Batman is leaving, so I'm fine with the fact that he'll be in a Flash film. I think it's a good thing also, because I think it's going to get audiences to watch the Flash film. I don't think that there was that much buzz generated from what we've seen so far. I mean, clearly, you know, a lot of people didn't like Ezra Miller's Flash. I didn't mind him. I thought he was fun. Nerdy, annoying. Not as annoying as Tom Holland. So, like, I didn't mind him, but he definitely did not stand out for me. And my favorite is the trio. So, like, all I care about when I watch movies like that is Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman. That's all I care about. I don't really care about the other characters, to be fair. That's just my thing. I don't not like them or hate them. I just don't care either way, really. So, you know, The Flash was more like a novelty for me in the Justice League film. And to be fair, I don't feel like that performance or the connection between him and Batman was very strong, like I said before. So we need to see what he's going to do in Justice League, how Ezra Miller is going to perform, how that relationship is going to be cultivated and brought to life, I'm hoping. I mean, it's a 4-hour film, and I know there's a lot going on, but like, it definitely needs to be there, because if Ben Affleck's Batman is doing a cameo where he's essentially going away forever and it's like his last farewell, like for real this time, he's like Cher doing a farewell tour and he just comes back. I mean, I think it's cool that he's coming back, like, to be fair, but I don't feel like it was needed to also. So, you know, we could have just had Flash go back and get Keaton's Batman. I don't feel like it's needed. So I'm very interested to see how they're going to explain this and make audiences understand it, and I hope they do it very well. I hope they really do a good job of explaining the story, not just the moments that matter, because I think that emotional impact that they discuss in Vanity Fair, I think that will be done well. I think the story will be told well in terms of at least that little part of it, that caption of that. But the entire film has to all connect and work well together, especially when you're going to also then bring in Keaton's Batman. How is that going to work? How is it going to look? How is it going to feel to audiences who, you know, and then also, to be fair, you've got new audiences, you've got young kids going to see these films that haven't heard of Keaton's Batman. Like, they didn't, you know, they just know Ben, probably. So, it's a big task, for sure. That's going to be very dependent on Zack Snyder and Andy Muschietti. So, yeah, it's a lot, guys, but the fact that we're having 3 Batmen in the next 2 years is crazy. It's crazy. And then we've got this whole different Batman with Pattinson, so like, and that's supposed to be a trilogy, like the Bale ones were. So like, it's just like mind-blowing how this is happening. It's cool. It's very cool. I mean, this is the first time, I believe, at least in the big leagues, that we've seen one character being told and shown in different ways, unless you count in live action. We had Into the Spider-Verse, but that was animation. So this is the first time we're gonna have the live action version of multiple versions of the same character, and they picked Batman, which is pretty cool. I mean, Superman is obviously there as well, and Superman has been done, I believe, also in the CW. I think I saw a snippet of it. I didn't like it. I think I saw was it Tom Welling's Superman come back. I loved him in Smallville, by the way. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the multiverse situation. I like one thing and one actor, and I don't know, I just get sort of stuck with that. This, you know, like the way that I don't see anybody else playing Wonder Woman except for Gal Gadot, the same way I don't want somebody else to be Superman. Henry Cavill to me is a perfect Superman. He really is. I think he's got so much more. I would love to see Man of Steel 2. I think there's just so much potential there for that character to keep going. And Superman is my favorite. You know, Wonder Woman, Batman, like I love the Trinity, like I've said, trio. So yeah, I think that, like, for me personally, I'm not a huge fan of the jumping between parallel universes situation, but as a fan of these superheroes, especially Batman, I'm curious to see what they do with it. I'm excited to see what they do with it, and I'm happy that it's Keaton's Batman. And like I said, Ben Affleck is like, it's like a farewell situation, and then we're going to keep seeing Keaton. There's also rumors said that Keaton is going to be like this mentor who trains Batgirl. So like there's a potential. Now, this is a potential. I don't know about if this is actually ever going to happen, and if it does, it's way off. But there's a potential that Batman could be replaced by Batgirl. That would be crazy. Could you imagine like Henry Cavill and then Wonder Woman and then like a Batgirl instead of like a Batman? That would be it's never been done like in live action. It's never been done before. Basically, we have the potential of a Batgirl film coming up, because I think that they'd have to have Keaton training her and showing her origin story for her to then integrate into Justice League 2. So we have, so let's recap everything. We have Robert Pattinson in his own trilogy doing his own Batman version that's separate to the DCEU, it's just its own thing. Then we have Ben Affleck's Batman saying goodbye, not to be replaced with anyone just yet. We don't know what's happening. I mean, obviously they'll tell us that in the future. But we have Ben Affleck's Batman saying goodbye, Michael Keaton's Batman coming back in, but not as the main Batman. So it's a whole fucking thing. But basically we're getting 3 Batmen in the next 2 years in DC films. That's awesome. So what do you guys think about all this? Did you wrap your brain around all of it? Were you super confused like myself? I mean, I'm a fan and I'm still confused. And I don't know the ins and outs of all the characters and the stories and the comic books. So, you know, I think it's going to be difficult for mainstream audiences to keep up with it. But like I said, I'm hoping that Zack does a really great job, and I think he will. And that Andy Muschietti then does the same in The Flash. So what do you think about this coming up? Are you excited about Ben Affleck coming back? Are you excited about the Flash movie now? Are you more excited about it, like myself? Because I was going to watch it. I mean, of course I was going to watch it, but I wasn't super excited about it. This is definitely a lot more incentive to go watch the Flash film. So I think that they've done really well there. But what do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to talk to you about it. And I'll be back soon with some more updates on some more movie news that's unrelated. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought, and thanks for watching. I'll see you later.